Cheers to the new year from our friends at Manscaped, because your resolutions shouldn't be the only things that are well kept this year. And 2024 is the time for new heights, new opportunities, and a new look for your Times Square balls. Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Whether you're looking to maintain a trim or go for that clean-shaven look, this trimmer has you covered. Trusted by over 10 million men worldwide, now is your time to get a grip on your grooming with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use promo code FRATCHAT for 20% off plus free shipping. Happy New Year or Happy New Balls from Manscaped. And we are recording.
Nice. I'm ready. I was a little distracted with work.
Yeah, no. Should I call you Signor Mori?
I get
Buongiorno.
phone calls all the time. I think I'm the only one that answers.
Yeah, it sounds like it. To be fair, if they called me on Saturday, I would not answer. It's like a dick.
I feel bad because I've been that person calling and no one answers. I'm like, I've got people in front of me like with their credit cards ready to make a purchase.
Oof. Well, at least sounds like you can get someone fired. So on that note, we're gonna do this in 3, 2, 1. What are you doing?
Testes in my mouth.
Get on the ground, you fucking pledge.
Ew.
Welcome to the greatest podcast experience of your life. This is the Frat Chat Podcast.
All young men like 3 things. Food, news, pussy.
Featuring Carlos Garcia and Chris Moore.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasting time. It's the Frat Chat Podcast. I'm Carlos Garcia with Chris Moore. Let's go, Mr. Moore.
What's up, man? I just got back from the gym and I did not have a workout. There was no room. There's no room for me.
Those
goddamn
resolutioners.
Were you at the gym today?
I was gonna go myself, and then I checked my Planet Fitness meter, which, you know, people say what you want about Planet Fitness, but they have a sweet app where it tells you a little meter right there how full the gym is before you waste your time to go, and that meter is popping. That shit is ding 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 linging, like when they check SEMO for an STD test. Like beep, beep, beep.
We have found patient 0.
That's right.
Do you and Julie work out together?
We'll go to the gym together, but we do our own shit. Like, she has her workouts, and I go do my meathead shit over there. Because she lives like, I mean, her workouts are intense. I'm not gonna lie. She does these crazy good workouts, which is how she's gotten in such good shape. But it's more like body weight stuff, doing lots of it. Meanwhile, I'm in there like pumping iron, brother.
Pumping iron, brother.
I'm doing the shit that makes my joints hurt. Literally wear an elbow brace now because I have like elbow, like carpal tunnel of the elbow. It's called something different, but
is it basically great. Just golfer's elbow or tennis elbow?
Yeah, tennis elbow essentially. But I don't play.
I get tennis elbow really bad.
The repetitive movement of the bench, brother. But you know, I like those workouts. I like the Hulk Hogan shit.
Yeah, dude.
That made him need 8 back surgeries.
I'm really a creature of habit, and I like to do my routine in a particular sequence. Like, for example, like to start my day off with the bench press because I know I can lift more. But if I do a whole like routine and then I end with a bench press, then I don't feel as strong and as accomplished. Do you know what I mean? And so I get really grouchy at the gym after my pre-workout mix that I'm sucking down. It's just I'm like a whole different like person. I'm a monster.
I gotta start with the bench myself, especially because like my whole thing that I started, the only reason I really started lifting again is because I wanted to be able to. I've always been able to do 225 on the bench, but I wanted to be able to rep that shit
Mm.
and get to 10. And now I can do it. So like it means I could, go up higher and shit. But you know, I don't really need to feel like I need to go any higher. I like that. That's like what the NFL players repping combine, So
I'm pulling out my
I'm happy.
calculator. Let me see how much I do. So what I do, rep wise, is let me see. The bar itself is 45 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that with a 35 on each side. I rep 115. You literally rep twice as much weight as I bench.
I
Thank you
warm
very
up at
much.
135.
You what?
I warm up at 135.
Is that a 45 on each side?
Yep.
I
And
can
then I
do that if
go,
someone spotted me. I can only do a few of them. You know what I mean?
wow. But you also have long arms, which I've noticed for tall people, it's a little harder to bench. And I think it's like my arm to chest ratio apparently is built for like a bench presser.
I
Versus
think,
someone like you might be built for other type of exercises. You know what I mean?
yeah, like getting on your knees and
I was supposed to say
sucking a
bend
dick
over and
up
touch your
or a
pecs.
hiccup. I think that also tall guys are worse at squats. I just can't. My form is
You got to
horrible.
go so much further for sure. And you tend to be like lankier, so all that weight on the thinner bone is definitely gonna be tougher.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely easier to be a lifter, especially power shit
totes.
when you're shorter like moi. So I'll take it. 5'8" Kings, raise your fist up. We got this.
Are you only
Um,
5'8"? Oh
that's
my
right.
god, my mom's taller than you.
Cheers, I better. It's like, are you wearing heels, ladies? Like, no, these are actually flats. It's like, oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
She looked like two kids on top of each other compared to me, when they sneak
Yeah,
into a movie.
she's got that model physique.
Mm-hmm. By the way, talking of taking care of yourself, I went to the dentist this week for
How'd it go?
my yearly cleaning and shit, and cavity check. And I gotta say, I'm cavity free, but my asshole hurts. Great times though.
Oh, I'm so
Uh,
jealous. I really need to make one of those appointments. Can you refer me to your doctor? I'll start stretching now.
That's right. But it feels so good. Every time I go to the dentist, they're always like, "Wow, your teeth are so nice. Did you ever wear braces?" And no, I never did. But the true story is that I was born with gap tooth. Like my front teeth, one went that way, one went that way, and I hated it. And this guy that was my mom's friend told me like the weirdest hack that totally worked. He's like, if you ever just grab a Coke bottle, like, the plastic ones, and you literally just stick your gap in there and start kind of like chewing on it, essentially, just push it in a little bit, not too hard, but just, let it kind of thing. And you'll feel it starting to push in together. And it did. And I did that shit. Like it would feel good almost. And I would just do it over and over and over eventually. And like months later, my teeth were closed. I didn't even
So
have to do braces.
you close the gap in your teeth by chewing on a soda bottle cap or the bottle itself?
The actual bottle top itself. I wish I had a bottle, of course.
Meanwhile, I had braces for 8 years, and I'm sure it
Ooh,
cost my family thousands of dollars. I even
so
got
much
my
money.
jaws broken and reset, and you chewed on a soda bottle? That's
To
some
be
crazy
fair, though,
backwoods shit.
to be fair, I was a pretty big kid, so I'm sure I also cost my dad thousands in Coke bottles. It's like, God damn it, it's been 3 months.
Carlitos, what's wrong? I'm hungry. Oh, God, can we take out a second mortgage?
Not again. They yell to the village, release the animals. I didn't even drink water for the first time until I was 17. It's like, what is water?
Like, what is it?
They would just put Pepsi in an IV for me.
Dude, I'm drinking my colon broom stuff, and I haven't seen my stomach get any flatter, but I am pooping a whole lot more. And I didn't think I could poop more because I'm super regular. I poop all the time. But now it's like I haven't stood up to pee in the last like week because every time I go to the bathroom, I'm pooping too.
Oh my god. Now, is that a good thing to be pooping that much?
I have no idea. I feel like I'm just pooping. Maybe I'm just pooping water weight.
Yeah, especially
And
because
then
you're
you
telling
drink
me
water,
your
you gain it right
stomach still
back,
feels
right?
bloated. Yeah. Yeah, water weight, you'll get it right back. But your stomach still feels bloated and you're pooping every 15 minutes. I don't know. It might be time to take a break on the. How long have you been taking it now?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And how
So,
long does it say to take it?
a month. I
You
really
still
want
got
a
2
flat
weeks.
tummy now. I'll do anything. Anything.
Wow, diarrhea for flat tummy. I mean, I guess that is the Homer Simpson way, so I can't
Dude,
really hate it.
and my shits are like powerful. Like when they come out of
Yeah.
my ass, they come out with a force that requires zero wiping.
Well, I guess it's a great thing to know that with Simo's column broom ass, he doesn't need to wipe, but also thanks to Tushy, you don't need to wipe too. So
Nice,
make sure to go
nice
right
one.
now at hellotushy.com, HELLOTUSHY.com, and use promo code FRATCHAT right now to save 10% on your very own Tushy, because you'll save the environment. You'll save a ton of TP money. You'll save that booty hole. And baby, it just feels nice. So get yourself your own Tushy home bidet right now. HelloTushy.com.
The first time I used it, I came. Hiawatha!
No one touches like Sema like himself and Tushy.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos Garcia here, coming to you live from the bathroom. That's right, I'm on the toilet right now. And that's because today's episode is sponsored by Tushy, and I can't get enough of it. In fact, in the future, people are going to laugh about how we used to just leave dirty poo-poo in our booty holes all day. Like, come on, man. Deep down inside, we all know that using toilet paper alone leaves nasty and smelling bacteria behind our butts. We know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. However, Tushy has finally made number two cleanup way more hygienic and better for the environment. In fact, you now can have a fresh stream of water, the same water as your sink or your shower, to clean up your booty after every poop. And Tushy's bidets are so easy to set up on any toilet. In under 10 minutes, you can set up your at-home bidet that will change your life forever. I'm not even kidding. This product is life-changing. And if we're being honest here, it feels pretty good too. How do I know? I'm using it right now. However, for a limited time only, our listeners get 10% off their entire order at HelloTushy.com. That's right. Go to HelloTushy.com, HelloTushy.com, and use promo code FRATCHAT for 10% off. It's time to get rid of those skid marks once and for all with Tushy. Oh, yeah.
It's going to be on the shirt.
Correct.
Oh,
Can
my
I get
God.
an
Wow.
amen? Mm-mm.
And a third segue about poop. We just have to keep this rolling for you. I have a news story for you, Mr. Mo. That
You
I
have
didn't
a
even put.
news story, or you have a new story about poopy?
Well, it's a news story
Okay.
heavily featuring poop.
Oh, nice.
You know, it's like when like Missy Elliott would release a new video and you're like super excited about it. But then you got featuring Busta Rhymes. It's like, whoa, this is gonna be the best song ever. Good times back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
This is sort of like that. This story by itself
Is
is already pretty crazy, but then you add the poopy into it, and it's just
It stinks.
good lord. Anyways, hit it. there's a a lawsuit that was filed against WWE icon and former leader Vince McMahon. That originally he stepped down from the company from. It involved him making women sign NDAs, in exchange for sexual relations and employment and shit. But this is one of these girls went public now with her own lawsuit. Her name is Janelle Grant, and the lawsuit alleges that her and Vince McMahon met in March of 2019, and was looking for a job after her parents had died. And then McMahon recruited her to have sex with him in the company, as well as other employees, including the former head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis, who was named as a defendant in the suit. In the lawsuit, which goes on to basically say that he was sort of a sugar daddy to her, would buy her a bunch of gifts and shit, flowers, cars, give her a bunch of money. After the relationship ended, she did sign a $3 million NDA, so she got paid. And now she is claiming that she only got $1 million out of the 3, so she wants out of the NDA. And she revealed some of the things that happened to her. And this is where the poop comes in. The suit states that in a May 2020 encounter, Vince McMahon took a poop on her head during a threesome. He allegedly
took a shat on her face.
He shat on her head and apparently made her then continue blowing the guy in the threesome with like shit going down her hair, while then he went and took a shower and then came back, and then they continued the threesome.
Ew. Like if you were the other guy getting your dick sucked, would you be like, come on, man?
Yeah, right?
Dude, really? We're having a moment here.
Like, I was about to finish. Now I got to start over. God. Plus it stinks.
Well, first and foremost, I support sex work. To me, sex, if I were to go home with someone and the next morning he took me to brunch and paid $50, to me that's no different than him just putting a $50 bill on the nightstand for me. I'm like, hello. So I first want to congratulate her for making $1 million for doing what she had to do. Good for you, girl. Now, if you were a victim and these things were non-consensual, then I'm sorry that happened to you, and I think you should be compensated for that. Yeah. But this is a sticky situation.
Also, it says that he allegedly forcefully used sex toys on her, including dildos he named after WWE wrestlers, causing her bruising and bleeding. But here's the thing. I think he's a sick fuck for the shit that you see in the suit, and I'm gonna get into some text messages that he sent her. That you can see that this guy has weird fetishes. He definitely has like a sex daddy kink. He's a cuck. He gets off on watching women fuck. It's definitely a control thing, for sure. But and I hope this doesn't get me canceled or anything. But I do, it seems kind of opportunistic of this lady in this particular situation, because she was getting like cars and shit, thousands of dollars, like from doing nothing of a particular job. And he apparently made it very clear that the job essentially was to fuck him. And she said yes. She just said no and walked away, and there was no story. But she went along with it. It wasn't like it's like oh, I'm your boss, and then you start working there, and like the classic typical sexual harassment where you get the job
Like Matt
and
Lauer.
then he starts. Right. Exactly. I think I can speak for most men when I say we want to have better sex. And for the sake of our partner, we may need to have better sex, fellas. Because no one likes it when you bring a wet noodle to a barbecue party. Write that down. The issue is that over the counter erection pills contain unregulated chemicals, suggest unsafe doses, and include the risk of several other health problems. And who wants that? It's like those drug prescription ads where everybody's like sitting there playing volleyball at the beach, but they're dying of herpes. Not cool. That's why we partnered with our friends over at Joy Mode. Whether you're looking to spice up your intimate moments or increase your confidence in the bedroom, Joy Mode makes all natural and science-backed supplements dedicated to helping men perform better across their core functions. Oh, yeah. The trademark product, the sexual performance booster, is every man's solution for increased blood flow down below, firmness, stamina, and performance of your favorite friend. It's like a pre-workout, but for your buddy down below. And let me tell you, it works. And the best part, the product is totally safe. All ingredients have been assessed in peer-reviewed journals. All ingredients have been studied and researched in humans. It comes in a palm-sized little packet, like your favorite electrolyte powder. Just simply mix one of these bad boys right in with 6 to 8 ounces of water, 45 minutes before sexual activity, and watch the magic unfold. Like, when you start blowing up an inflatable castle? It's sort of like that, but down below. But it's time to redefine your intimacy and go to usejoymode.com for 20% off with promo code FRATCHAT. Oh, yeah, that's 20% off and free shipping with promo code FRATCHAT at usejoymode.com. Ingredients with integrity, it's Joy Mode, baby. He basically was like, listen, there is no job. I'm just going to be a sugar daddy. We're going to fuck. She went along with it. And now she's asking to get off of the NDA, getting all this money. And you know why she wants to get off the NDA? Probably to write a book and cash in even more. So it does seem awful that this is the person that went public, because I think she might be doing it for the wrong reasons. Because there are other women in the original lawsuit that made him step down that we don't know their names and stories. So for all we know, those people got really something awful happened to them. You know what I mean? It's tough.
I feel like if what's his name? Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
If Vince McMahon was pounding that pussy with all sorts of toys and shit and tearing her pussy up in a violent kind of way that she wasn't down for, then I think she's deserving of a lot of money and a public apology and whatever she can get out of it. But
no, he denies everything. But go on.
If part of that NDA or the contract agreement between her and him was that they're going to be doing some kinky stuff and she knew what she was getting into and was paid well for it, then I don't know, like
yeah, it was a lot of BDSM stuff, it seemed like. Especially you'll see, I'm about to get into these text messages, and you'll see like the stuff he wants. It's like someone's bad porn search history. Like it's really like,
all right, let's hear it.
And no, you guys know me. I can't just read these text messages in the way of Carlos Garcia.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you can't read. I'm like, well, don't look at me. You're all we got.
I have to read this as the man himself, Vince McMahon. So no, these are. I mean, it seems like they were his text messages. It kind of writes how he writes or how he would speak, but he denies that anything was not consensual and that there was like rape or anything like that. Okay. So anyways, this is the first text. I love it. That's you, Janelle. You just can't get enough, can you? In the future, it's going to be so bad that you'll demand to be fucked twice a day and not just with a cock in a three-way. Why not let others see the beautiful, voluptuous body and watch you shake uncontrollably when you come? They'll go out of their minds. Then I'll find more friends and we'll tie you up so you're helpless. I'll direct them to have their way in any way they want. Who can make you scream the loudest? Maybe I'll just line them up and have them squirt in your mouth, your pussy, and all over your tits and ass, all at the same time. You'll be covered in cum. It will make you eat it all and taste everybody's cum. The next morning, you'll be a little sore, but you're still going to want more. After all that fucking and over. That's one of them.
Ew, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
And she's probably
He's a
showing these
6'7"
texts to all her
man.
friends. She's like, look at this fucking weirdo.
Yeah, and well, apparently he was like showing pictures of her and stuff to the staff and be like, "This chick is a freak."
Maybe
But-
he's gay, because sometimes I think that like there's a lot of guys who are like, it's not gay if there's a woman present. Yeah, I'm having orgies and threesomes with other men and we're naked with our dicks hard and touching each other, but it's not gay because it's a naked woman in the bed, you know.
Right.
Vince
And now this is where
McMahon,
you see
that's bone a dude.
this next text might give your theory a lot of credit. Actually, he said, "Re," which means regarding your last picture. Re, your last picture. You need your panties ripped off and 3 big black dicks in all 3 holes at the same time. Way up in your pussy. Way up your ass as far as it will go. But even further. And the thickest cock goes down your throat. So it makes you gag and convulse as those big black cocks pound away. It feels like from the start you're being assaulted, but it's made you come nonstop. Just continuous constant orgasm. And just before you pass out, those big black dicks squirt their loads of cum inside of you. As you lay on your stomach, the cum is coming out of all your holes. I'll turn you over and jack off all over you.
Oh, he's so weird. Well, maybe she's shaking uncontrollably because she's in pain, or maybe she's shaking uncontrollably because she read his text aloud and can't stop laughing.
Yeah,
Who
right.
knows?
It's weird that he thinks like this is like what's gonna make a woman like orgasm. Like just 3 dudes just fucking like
I can imitate her orgasm. It sounds like this. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks.
That's true. Vince, you're so good, Vince. You are so big and good. Oh, I love it. Now,
Who house
we're
is
not done.
this? It's the McMahon Mansion.
That's right.
Thanks.
Now for this next one, this is where I told you he shared phones, pictures of stuff of her to the staff, and this is where he gets into that. And then we'll see some. Actually, we'll get to a response of hers. So this gets tricky. So he says, I just passed my phone around to a bunch of guys on the tech crew. They were screaming, "Oh my God, she's fucking beautiful. Look at that ass. I'd like to get that." I paused to count out loud how many guys there were. 12. I then said, "Okay, there's 12 of you, and she would love to fuck each and every one of you at one time." The guys cheered, but she will only do it if she takes 3 at a time. That brought a huge reaction. She once went deep in her ass, one went down her throat, and one in her pussy. And he spells pussy Pussey. So it's
Oh
pussy.
no. So he's a creepo
You
and an
can pound
idiot.
And instead of you, he uses the letter U, which is crazy because this is like a billionaire, but go on. One in the pussy. And you can pound her and keep on pounding her until you pop your load. She may scream and try to say no, which is this is where it gets weird. Although it would be difficult. Well, it got weird a long time ago. I shouldn't say that. Although it would be difficult to say anything with a cock down her throat. They laughed. I then said, "Listen, No matter what, just pound away till you squirt. Baby, these guys were having a blast with me. Some of them didn't believe me. So I said you were the greatest fuck in the world. And no matter how much you get, you always wanted more. And then I said, she loves cum, baby. Baby, these techs, as we call them, were having the time of their lives listening to my truthful story. I then said you would take a 10-minute break between each fucking, but then you would get back on your hands and knees with your ass in the air, or say, okay, I'm ready. Who's next? LOL. I drove them wild, baby. Or I should say, you drove them wild. Just imagine if this really happened, baby. How much cum would you have coming out of all your holes? He has like a weird cum obsession, and
Ew,
he
he's
definitely
so gross.
sounds kind of gay.
You know what?
From
I used to think that he was kind of hot. He's got a killer bod.
Yeah, he's good looking, I guess, but
Now I think he is damaged.
yeah.
Now I think there's something wrong with him. And I think
Well,
he
he
should be locked up and
was,
kept off the streets.
and this is, uh, you say that without any knowledge. He was, as a child, apparently molested, I think, by his stepdad or something.
Oh, so you think hurt people
So,
hurt people?
yeah, who knows? I'm not a psychiatrist, but the fact that you say that without any knowledge, and that did happen to him, you know, it's kind of a thing.
Man, he needs some therapy. Everyone should be forced to go to the therapist. If you don't already go to therapy, I think everyone should be mandatory. I think that every job interview should be like, okay, not only do we need a drug test, but also a psychiatric evaluation because something's not right with them.
Yeah, but if you're forced to go to a therapist, doesn't it just become the rapist? See what I did there? Therapist.
I
the
see what you
rapist.
did there.
Suppose
And
space.
I don't know if I would equate therapy with rape unless Vince McMahon
Plus,
was
there's all
my
these
therapist.
assholes who be like, oh, Simo sounds crazy. Put him away. You know what I mean? Just because it turns out it's like your ex who's doing the testing. so if everybody has to do it, the system will be overwhelmed and there'll be bad care. But
Can you imagine if your boss was like, hey, Carlos, hey, you want to come on over and have a party? My sex slave is giving us all blowjobs tonight.
yeah. Don't worry, I pay her pretty well.
I'd be
I
so
just gave her a
uncomfortable,
BMW.
like doing that with a coworker.
Mm-hmm. Now, note, this is going to be, at this point, this is the last set of the conversation that I have that was released. He's going to try to schedule some sex with someone else, but this is her response too, in it, which you kind of see. She fully goes along with these things, which is where it gets tricky. So it says, apparently, like I said, he was trying to schedule a sex session with the guy, John Laurinaitis, who was the head of talent relations at the time, and he was a former wrestler as well. He said, exactly, baby. He's not the only one. He called me this afternoon begging to eat you and fuck you with his nice and hard dick. And she said, give me another week, baby, and I'll be ready. I'm feeling more like myself. It's not great, but it's getting better. Tell him soon. I said, I already told him, baby. By the way, Johnny wants Tuesdays, but not this coming one, and the occasional Saturday, but maybe I can shift it to Thursday nights. Johnny would like all of the above. Maybe he wants 2 other guys to join you with him. Holy shit. You told him you would do anything with him. So if he surprised you with 2 others, you would have no alternative to take them on. OMG. The stories you could tell me then. It makes me want to come right now. By the way, I just thought of what I think is an excellent idea. Maybe you can hint that if he knows someone who can be discreet, it might be better if you and Johnny try him out first so he can get more comfortable before he's introduced to me. Actually, that makes total sense, doesn't it? So yeah, I do think he's kind of gay.
Yeah, definitely kind of gay. Or like really gay.
For sure. And actually, there is one more with her where he says, "Those compliments will keep on coming, baby. Just wait and see. I totally understand and agree of being scared of communications and photos. Johnny gets drunk and sloppy and could easily make a mistake that could cost him his job and yours too. Verbal communication is the way to go. That said, have you and Johnny talked about breakfast tomorrow?" She said, "We haven't discussed it at all. It's up in the air. Johnny complained about getting a new phone and it just arrived. I haven't set up time to coordinate setting it up with IT because I need him to assure me that he's erased everything he's ever saved. Truly, I regret that he ever got pics. It's not worth the stressing I'm feeling. I'm done with it." So, this is where it kind of shows that she is complicit. And
Yeah, but maybe he's going against her contract. Maybe she was like, "Listen, I'll do whatever you want, but don't record or document any of it."
that's true.
And then maybe he went against the contract. There's a breach in
could also
contract. That
be-
means money for her.
That's right. And also, though, if no one else has evidence but you can paint the story however you want, and you can
Correct.
cash in. So it's a tricky story. To end it all, Vince McMahon did put out a statement. Let me just read that. Stella, why are you crying? I think she is quite sad at the Vince McMahon story. But he said, "I stand by my prior statement that Miss Grant's lawsuit is replete with lies, obscene made-up instances that never occurred, and is a vindictive distortion of the truth. I intend to vigorously defend myself against these baseless accusations and look forward to clearing my name." So, and this is a lawsuit. It's not criminal. So I don't know if I should say innocent to proven guilty. I don't know if the same standard of law applies here, but this hasn't gone to trial. So it hasn't been proven one way or another. Lawyers haven't gotten involved yet. So we'll see how this pans out. But I think he'd say, in the least, he's like a big sex weirdo.
Oh,
He
totally.
definitely needs to go to therapist.
Listen, if she was taking multiple dicks at the same time all day, every day, she deserves some money. I
Well,
really
apparently
think
she
that.
got a fuck ton of money, and she was under contract, so this is where it gets tough, because she
Yeah,
definitely
but
was like
I mean, I don't know
living a great life.
I don't know what the specifics of this contract were, but if I had signed
She was
up,
essentially on the payroll, like as a high-end executive, so that means insurance and all the nitty-gritty after her parents died, and under salary, and still getting like money and like expensive gifts like cars and shit, which is obviously more than a salary.
yeah.
Like,
But if her contract said that she had to do sexy time with Vince on the regular, that's one thing. But if he didn't tell her beforehand that she would be like gang fucked by lots and lots of people, then that's shitty. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder.
It's true.
I get the sense that he probably abused and potentially bruised her willingness to do
That's true.
whatever. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm looking forward to in 2024? Keeping my boys down below looking better than ever. And thanks to the good people at Manscaped, I can. And that's because, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the MVP of 2024, Manscaped's 5th generation lawnmower. It's not just a trimmer, it's your grooming sidekick. And equipped with 2 skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires, which is typically your balls. It's like having a personal stylist at your fingertips, or wherever you might need it, like your balls. And did we mention it's waterproof? Because a trim in the shower is the only way to start your day. Oh yeah. And for my men who want the full grooming experience, look no further than Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0. In this grooming kit, you will get the trusted Lawnmower 5.0. Oh yeah, Manscaped's ear and nose hair trimmer, and essential aftercare products with the Crop Soother Ball Aftershave Lotion and Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant. Yeah, it's deodorant for your balls. But you didn't think you needed that, buddy. Well, your girlfriend or boyfriend definitely says otherwise. And as a gesture for the new year, they even threw in 2 free gifts. The Boxers 2.0 and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. Because they know good and well you're still rocking your boxers from high school. It's time to throw those ripped bad boys in the trash, buddy. And let's face it, resolutions might come and go, but a well-groomed you is here to stay, thanks to Manscaped. And of course, get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code FRATCHAT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and get free shipping with the promo code FRATCHAT at manscaped.com. Because nothing says Happy New Year like a deal that leaves your balls and your budget feeling refreshed. Embrace a new you and definitely embrace a new trimmer courtesy of Manscaped.
That's true. And we'll see. That's also the thing. So far, we've gotten just what she's put out. That's a very good point. We have to see how this all took a turn from him initially being like, hey, I'm going to give you a job. It's essentially going to be to have sex with me. And I'll give you money and shit. To, okay, I'm going to bring 6 dudes to fuck you in every hole and come all over you type of thing. And how much of it was him texting weird, kinky fantasies to actually doing shit? That has to be brought into court. If I'm a lawyer, you know what I mean? Because he could just be talking shit, but not actually doing it. I don't know. The crazy thing is she might have a ton of more proof. And this is the thing. We're like, he had to step down from the WWE merged with the UFC. And now it's TKO Holdings is the name of the thing. And he was essentially there as like a chair of the board of directors for the WWE side. Now he has to step down. So like this can either make or break his life, essentially.
Well, I have a feeling this is the first of many girls to come forward. Get ready.
Yeah, that's true. Because like I said earlier, she wasn't the only one in the 2020 lawsuit that featured NDAs. But we'll see. At the same time, if he was doing all this shit with her, how would he have time to do it to the other women? So
Or his wife.
And well, his wife, he's had affairs before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why his wife sticks with him though. And she was actually on Trump's cabinet and shit.
Right.
She was like the Secretary of Commerce or something. Which is pretty fucked.
Something. That's horrible.
That sucks. She got Hillary'd. But anyways, that is the crazy story in the world of wrestling today. I don't know what's going to happen yet. We'll keep you guys posted. But Vinnie Mac, you at least need to go to therapy, buddy. I at least believe the text messages were sent by you. I don't know if she would, otherwise it's fraud. And, this is the kind of thing that wouldn't be put out there.
They can trace
so
it.
At least
they can get to the bottom of it.
Totally. But this does not look good for you, dude. That's fucking weird. And shitting on someone's head. Come on. Ugh.
I can just imagine the conversation afterwards and him being like, why so sad? And she'd be like, you pooped on my head. Do you understand how degrading that is? You literally popped a squat on my forehead. My hair smells like fecal matter.
Having to keep giving a BJ while there's shit on you. Ugh. Ugh.
I mean, she's already gagging on the dick, and now she's gonna gag at the smell of
the shit.
And he has a high protein diet with probably lots of fiber. I'm sure it's a huge fucking turd.
Those some big nasty old man poops.
Yeah. Ugh. Gross.
Anyways,
I'll do anything in the bedroom, I think, but when it comes to doo-doo, that's where I draw the line. I draw the line with poop. To make a point.
Absolutely. I would literally fucking. Actually, yeah, I would sue someone. It's like, excuse me. Ah!
Now I saw you just picked up your dog and put her on the couch. Is her legs too small to jump up on the couch?
No, she can do it, but sometimes she decides that she wants to be spoiled and get picked up instead.
Oh.
You know, this is
Well,
Princess
Mario
Leia.
gets like that. I mean, he's like, pick me up. And I'm like, ew, gross. I don't want to touch you. You don't want to touch me? I don't want to touch you either. How about that?
That's right. And then, I don't know what she's doing, but there she is. But anyways, it's time to get to it, Mr. Mo, because we have a very badass episode, brother. Episode full of action, adventure, excitement,
And poop.
and fights. Yeah. Because this week we're going to talk about fight scenes, baby. Fight scenes in the movies that we love, that we'll think that you'll love. And no, we have 10 of them, but these are not the top 10 best per se. These are just 10 that we love. Because here's the beauty about this topic. There's so many movie fights that we can definitely, and we'll definitely revisit this again. But these are the top, no, not the top. These are 10 fights that we know you'll love in the movies. So you should check out right now here at the Frat Chat Podcast. Oh, yeah. It's going to get intense. And no, we have movies of a couple different genres in here because the action world is not the only one that that does this shit. So, with that being said, this is going to be cool. It's going to be badass.
Well, I just want to say one thing, and that is obviously all the fight sequence in like the Bourne Identity, trilogy are amazing. And same with the Taken movies or the Transporter. Like, yeah, I expect that. I expect to be wowed with John Wick fight scenes. Yeah, of course. But these scenes that we picked are just were just 10 that speak to us for various reasons, and we'll get into it.
Totally. So, anyways, would you like to go first, Mr. Mo?
Sure, I'm gonna start with The Lion King.
Oh,
Even as an adult, when I see Simba and Scar fight to the end, I'm like, whoa. They do a callback to how Scar killed Mufasa. And so you think it's not looking good. It's like, we've seen this before, Simba, not looking good for you. And then
that's his knockout move.
There's one like slow-mo where they're literally bitch slapping each other. And then Scar throws like hot coals at Simba's face. And then ultimately, what did Scar in wasn't Simba. He didn't have to get his hands that dirty because the hyenas ate Scar.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a full-on brawl. You even got Timon and Pumbaa fighting bitches. I mean, everyone it was a straight-up melee of fighting. Is it melee or melee?
Melee, I believe.
Oh, it was a melee of fighting.
Brother. Yeah. And note, I think that was one of the most intense fights as a kid for me because seeing Mufasa die is just one of the most fucked up memories that I have in life.
The stampede was scary, and then they had a stampede in Jumanji, and I was like, why would you bring that shit back? We're still recovering from Lion King.
Totally. That shit hurt.
You just gotta keep calm and carry on,
That's right. That's what the cup says. And I totally don't live by that. But anyways, first on my list, I'm going to go with a movie that actually the sequel was announced recently. And it won't feature the original actor in it, but it should still be pretty good. Be directed by the same guy, Ridley Scott. We got Gladiator.
Or like Elizabeth Taylor says,
Gladiator!
Oh, I
Yeah,
miss her. Now
that's
I'm
right.
gonna
R.I.P.
howl. Oh, have you seen those videos of her? It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. R.I.P. Liz Taylor. But I'm talking about when Russell Crowe's Maximus is in the Coliseum for the very first time, and he's fighting with, he's got a ragtag group of uh, Coliseum slaves along with him, and he has to fight the emperor's people, and you know, the odds are not looking good, but they don't know that the Spaniard, as they know him, Maximus, is actually a fucking insane war general. So he's able to lead that ragtag group into victory, and it is badass. The fucking fighting is super intense. The stakes are high. They make it really seem like it could be either side. And in the end, obviously, Maximus with his badassery wins. And he starts building his reputation as the man in the Roman Colosseum, and building up for other awesome epic fights in the movie. This is one of those movies that's like an epic story, but the fighting is so goddamn good. So check out
Is it
Gladiator.
so good that it's potentially Oscar worthy? Yeah, maybe.
Some might say, including the Academy, because it did win the Oscar. So
Gladiator!
So check out Gladiator, especially because the sequel is coming out, like I said. But anyways, you will not regret that movie. Do it. What you
Well,
got?
kind of in the same realm of genre, I'm going to say every fight in 300 was impressive to me. But there was one moment that literally kicked off the film full of violence in the best kind of way. Is when the lead character kicked that Persian into the pit like a motherfucker. Ooh,
Totally.
damn.
Totally.
This is Sparta. Boom.
Totally. That was sweet, especially because, you're sitting there watching as Leonidas is being berated by this guy, essentially being like, "Who the fuck do you think you are? If you do not accept the Xerxes' wishes, you will die, Leonidas. You will bow your head." I mean, like all this bullshitty, bitchy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Leonidas is just listening. And then his wife is the one that says something to the guy. Like, my husband won't do shit. The guy's like, and then the guy steps up to his wife and says something. And that's just something you don't do. And that's what sets up the epic kick. And then all of a sudden, everybody else fucks up the other guys, and you just see them all getting thrown into this pit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope it's not their water supply, by the way, but it seemed pretty deep.
But that whole sequence at the beginning of the movie, I thought to myself, oh, we are in for a treat.
Fuck yeah. And I mean, if you were from that generation where you watched that movie, everybody has recreated that this is Sparta kick.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. It's like the most legendary kick of the 2000s, I would say. Generation of movies. So it's a good one. And that movie holds up. I actually showed it to Julie recently, too. It's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Very artistic, too. It looks very cool.
And you got Cersei from Game of Thrones. Heyo.
That's right. That's his wife. That's funny.
Who gave
It's kind of
permission
confusing
to
though,
kick
because
that
there's the
motherfucker.
Cerseis.
She nodded.
Yeah, and she kills it in that
She's
movie.
like, do it.
And it's funny because she plays Cersei's in Game of Thrones, but the bad guy in this movie is called Xerxes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of confusing, but she just different Xerxes from a different show. But she's also in this, and she's really good at this. And it's
such a good
crazy because
actress.
she's very likable in this, and she's such a hateful bitch in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but likable nonetheless. I love watching her.
She's so good.
kill
She's
it.
really good. She's really good. She's badass.
Mhm.
Scary lady. Anyways, Up next for me, I'm going to go with Happy Gilmore.
And this was on my list. Fuck. Such a good one.
You snooze, you lose, bitch. And this is the legendary fight between Happy Gilmore, played by Adam Sandler, versus the Price is Right host of the time, Bob Barker, legendary host and funny man. And the whole thing starts in a celebrity golf tournament where Happy is playing awfully, and it's costing Bob Barker the game. And they're bickering the whole time because Bob Barker wants to win, and Happy's fucking it up. And Happy ends up picking a fight with Bob Barker. And Bob Barker proceeds to whoop his ass. And they're like trading haymakers and shit. But eventually, Bob Barker knocks him out and ends it with the legendary line, "The price is wrong, bitch." Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, rest in peace, Bob Barker. If you had to pick one of the two, Bob Barker or Drew Carey, who remains?
I mean, I would have to go with, I like Bob more than I wish he would have remained, but I wouldn't want him to still be alive now because then he'd be like 114 years old.
Oh, true. But Bob Barker for me is always going to be the OG of Price is Right.
Totally.
No one can live up to him. Not even Drew.
Yeah. And I love Drew Carey, but I love Drew Carey in the Drew Carey Show and in Whose Line Is It Anyways? Like, for me, it's tough to see him doing something else because he was so fucking good in Whose Line. And even though he was the host in that, he was still very funny and a great addition to the guys and would give them stuff to play off of. So, you know, it's tough to watch him in this, which is more of it's a passive game, and there's you know, the wheel and stuff and all the spinning and stuff is cool, but I don't know. I just think Bob is so smooth with it, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's tough to replace him. And
with his little microphone that looked like a
totally.
It was like a.
I wish I had that for stand up. I think it was crazy.
Yeah, I want one of those.
Made him sound so loud too. Like, how? Such a little mic. But yeah, Happy Gilmore. That movie holds up. And a quick segue here. I actually just watched an Adam Sandler movie on Netflix with his daughters. What is it called?
Blood Diamond?
It's called Bat Mitzvah. The Bat Mitzvah. It's about one of his daughters getting Bat Mitzvah, obviously, and like the whole thing. She wants it to be like this crazy awesome party, you know, obviously the realities of what she wants versus what the parents can afford and stuff. But it's very cute. It's very funny.
You recommend
good movie. Adam Sandler does great, and the kids, the daughters in it are his actual daughter, and his wife is in the movie too. And it's very well done. The kid actors are fantastic, but it does take you back to like that, you know, being like 13 period, and how life was in those days. It was very well done, and it made me relate to girls so much. But it was very fun, very cute. Check it out.
Do his daughters look like him?
One of them does.
Oh,
the other one is kind of like a mixture between him and his wife, but she's very young, but a little cutie. You would not think. It took me a minute to see that it was Adam Sandler's daughter, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. The older one, you can totally tell that it's Adam Sandler's daughter.
Yeah,
she's like way more like him. But a great movie. That kid actors were fucking fantastic. I was telling Julie, like, damn, they're so natural that it doesn't seem like they're acting, which is great. So it really makes you feel like you're back in that time period of your life, even though it's set in the present. But very likable, very funny, good stuff. Check it out, people.
Is it me, or does buying a sex pill at a gas station feel super awkward? You know, you're like walking around and you don't know what to get. The guy's definitely looking at you, judging you with every step. It's super weird. Plus, then we got to talk efficacy. Does it really work? Because my buddy once bought a condom from a gas station, and now he has 3 kids, so you tell me. So it's good to know that Jomoid is not only backed by its users, it's backed by science, people, which goes to show that science can be sexy sometimes. Now, let me ask you something. Whether you're happy or unhappy with your performance in the bedroom, why not perform even better? Usain Bolt was the fastest man in the world, and he still wanted to run faster. So why not be an Olympic gold medalist in the bedroom, fellas? Because that's where Joy Mode comes in. Joy Mode's sexual performance booster is like a pre-workout, but for sex. It's designed to support erection quality, firmness, and sex drives. And it contains clinically supported doses of ingredients like arginine nitrate, L-citrulline, Panax ginseng, and vitamin C, which is going to make your boy down below stronger than ever. Oh, yeah. Not only is this the only supplement you'll need in the bedroom, it also supports blood vessel support, cardiovascular and heart health, athletic performance, blood pressure, and general erection function. Plus, here are the game changers. All ingredients have been assessed in peer-reviewed journals, and all ingredients have been studied and researched in humans, so you know it works. And I don't know about you guys, but I'll never go back to over-the-counter drugs after trying Joy Mode. And psst, it's small enough to fit in your wallet and take it with you on the go. It's the perfect travel companion. And it's a powder, so you don't need to worry about it getting crushed in there. So all you got to do, fellas, is just go to usejoymode.com and get 20% off with the promo code FRATCHAT at checkout. That's 20% off and free shipping with promo code FRATCHAT at usejoymode.com. Great sex solved naturally. Oh, yeah.
Anyways, back to it. What you got next, Mr. Mo?
Well, I'm going to go with another comedy to piggyback off of you. And this comedy is called The Campaign.
Yes.
It's got Will Ferrell. And what's the guy's name? Zach Galifianakis?
Wait, try again. Let me see. You're getting closer.
Galifianakis?
Yeah, there is an L sound in there. A little earlier. Galifianakis?
How do you say it?
Now I can't say it because of the way you say it.
Galifianakis. Is it Greek?
It's Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis. He's brilliant in the movie. He's so good. He's good in The Hangover. He's good in everything he does. His interview.
There's one that he does with Robert Downey Jr. too, where they're like going. They end up getting stuck riding together cross country because Robert Downey Jr. like loses his wallet or something, and he's so weird. And Robert Downey Jr. is like a normal guy just trying to get to his, the birth of his daughter.
Yeah,
it's so fucking funny. Like there's one scene where Robert Downey Jr. is sleeping and he wakes up to the guy like to Zach Galifianakis like about to jerk off in the car next to him. He's like, I can't sleep if I don't jerk off at first. And he has a little dog that is also like it's also his jerk off time because it's used to his owner doing it. It's so it's so funny.
Listen, so you have a lot of movies to catch up on.
That's right.
Well, in The Campaign, Will Ferrell goes to punch Zach Galifianakis. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Galifianakis. But Zach Galifianakis moves out the way, and unfortunately, Will Ferrell punches the shit out of a baby. And I know there's not much of a fight scene, more so like a sneak attack. But the guttural response that I elicited, was stellar. So when I think of fights, I think of that baby took a jab like a champ. That was quite the moment for me. I think about it.
It's unexpected. You know what I mean? Like no one. That's something you never would think you'd see. So whoever thought of that, very funny stuff. Well thought of. That's fucking comedy, baby. That's a really funny movie. There's another scene in there where they're talking in dinner time. That's just legendary. So
that's the best scene. But I have to pee real quick. I'm sorry, I can't hold it.
Okay.
I've been dancing. Have you noticed the screen was shaking, and it's not Michael J. Fox leaning against my desk again.
Oh no! You don't have to bring that back. Just go. Well, one of us was professional, you guys, and peed before the shoot, so I can just sit here for a minute and tell you that Simo is not that guy. It was me, the one here, talking to you. Letting you listen to my velvety smooth tones. Oh yeah. Doesn't that sound good? I could make a ASMR podcast. Or, I could make a sexy ASMR podcast. Oh yeah. Like for example, this is me with a rapper. Doesn't that sound good? Oh yeah. And now this is me taking out joy mode. Oh yeah. We are sponsored by Joy Mode too. But I'm not gonna drink it now. Because I don't want to get horny by myself. But you can. Oh yeah, you can. It'd be awesome. It'd be super awesome. Because I hope you know that you can save 20% and get free shipping on your next Joywood purchase. Oh yeah. With promo code FRATCHAT. It's all natural. Make your willy feel nice. You can boogie all the time with your significant other. Yeah. And look at him coming
I
back.
broke the seal.
Oh, God.
Could you hear me in there?
No, because while you were gone, I decided to make a little ASMR podcast.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you made use of the
glad-
time.
To the
I
rest
left
of
the
you,
door open and I was
joymode.com.
like, oh, joy mode?
That's right. joymode.com. Use promo code FRATCHAT. Save 20% off. Free shipping. Anyways.
Have you used it?
Yeah, I have. It was good.
What did it
It's
do?
good.
Did it keep your dick harder longer?
Well, basically, like, you got to take it, not right away. Like if you're gonna bang right away, you need like a good 40 minutes. It's good for like a good Netflix and chill sesh, where you can watch like half the movie, and it gives you time to like get in the mood type thing. And then it makes you feel nice. It really does get you in the mood.
That's good.
It's
I'm
funny.
afraid that I would have a boner that would last too long and I'd be like, okay, go away now.
Well, no, because it's not like Viagra.
Okay.
It's just different. It's a different kind of powering thing. And no, I've never like taken like a Viagra pill, so I guess I can't relate the boners. But it was more like a natural feeling boner. Like it's just like when you wake up. It felt like more like when you wake up in the morning, you get the nice morning wood that can fucking. If you run into a wall, you'll knock down a wall.
Yeah. I know how that
That's
is.
the most powerful wood the man gets an entire day. Morning wood.
Yeah.
I think Joy Mode boner reminded me of like morning wood boner.
Well, that's
But you don't finish as
good.
fast. So that's good.
My husband won't
good.
have sex in the morning. He can only do it at night
What?
because it exhausts him. When he blows the load, he's like a waste of life. He can't work after that.
Really?
Some people are they're like, I cannot jack off. I need this for my performance, or I need this for the gym. I can't jack off.
Yeah,
I
that's
can jack off
different.
all day, every day, whenever, anywhere. I mean, not in front of people. I do it in private, but like, I'm always ready.
I guess if I was going to combat sports or something, you know what I mean? Maybe I would go by that rule. But for stand up, I don't think it affects me.
I know a DJ who's
again,
like, I haven't like jacked off in a few days because I've just been so packed with gigs. I'm like,
It's like,
you can't
excuse me,
bust
you
a
can
nut
find
before
30
you
seconds.
You like
Yeah,
spin some records.
Yeah, like come on, dude. You're like it doesn't take that long to take care of yourself. It's ridiculous. Some people are lying though. Oh, I don't do that. Shut up. Yeah, you do. I shook your hand. I know how tight your grip is. You definitely do. Hope you wash. You sick fuck. But anyways.
Anywho, what's next on your list? I just said when Will Ferrell punched the baby's lights out.
Yes, that was good. Up next, I have a legendary one from 1999, right before Y2K, baby. This movie was like the best thing to hit during that time.
Was it Mariah Carey's Glitter?
That's right. And it's Mariah fighting backstage with her agent about how much money she was going to
Where's my green tea and honey?
That's right. Now I'm talking about The Matrix. And this is note that it's like 300. There's a bunch of epic fight scenes. The Matrix has some of the most epic fight scenes ever all throughout it. But this is the first one between Neo and Morpheus, with Morpheus is just starting to show Neo what he could be capable of in the Matrix. And they're in a little dojo thing. It's a virtual dojo. And then all of a sudden, you see Neo gets loaded up with a computer program in his neck. Well, all of a sudden he says, "Whoa, I know Kung Fu." And he knows Kung Fu in the Matrix. And meanwhile, Morpheus knows all kinds of different styles. So in the outside world, in the real world, Keanu Reeves is being loaded up with all this martial arts knowledge that he's now put into use in the Matrix against Morpheus to train. And holy shit, that back and forth. For one thing, that it's crazy that this movie is now about 25 years old, because it still holds up so fucking well. It looks fantastic. It literally like made you think that these guys were bending reality as we know it. And it changed the world of movie fights forever. Like there were so many Matrix copycat movies after the fact. It even like brought a new film style and the way of shooting this movie that was not a thing before this movie came out. So it revolutionized the world of action movies and sci-fi. But this fight, man, I just remember seeing this for the first time because I was a hater on the Matrix until I actually saw it. It was like, it looks stupid. Man, like, how good can it be? And so I was like, no, man, you have to watch this movie. And then I did.
And then you went home, you bent every spoon.
That's right. It just made me think. And it's one of those movies that makes you think, too. Because it's like, what if we really are in the Matrix? How would we know? We wouldn't,
Weren't you so surprised years later at the age that Keanu Reeves is at, that he was able to still kick ass in the John Wick movies?
I know.
Man, he's a fucking beast, dude.
And he's fantastic. And he does all that training for it, too. And like you can see him like at the gun range, like shooting, getting ready for it. And he's a bad man. But he's so nice. And note, John Wick didn't make our list today, but I think it's one of the greatest action movies of all time. And it's not because we don't love it. It's just, we just talk about the Matrix first, but it will be on the next time, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
We just have limited time. But the action movie, the fights and all the John Wicks are fantastic. But the first one was another one that just completely like made my fucking mind explode. Just seeing how realistic it is too, in the sense of like it's sure he's fighting like 50 guys at once and killing them, which is a little action starry, but he's using real combat styles in the movie, just like in the Matrix, which makes it cool. It's not like old like if you watch, for example, the classic Sean Connery Bond movies, they're fantastic. But what doesn't hold up in them is the fight scenes. It's very much like Austin Powers says, like judo chop cha, like
yeah.
They like hold their hands up like this, and like a guy will throw like a big swinging telegraph punch, which looks awful, and then Sean Connery will barely move and just chop him like very lightly, and the guy goes flying like 6 feet over. Like it's awful. Meanwhile, he's like using like Muay Thai and shit to like elbow some fucking dude, He's using like real like locks and stuff. It's wild. So John Wick, I'm gonna put it as an honorable mention, the first movie, because
John Wick, movie. Honorable mention.
Yeah.
And please, script writers and directors out there, please never kill another puppy in a movie. Please. I can't handle it.
I watched the first time I watched the first one, I was like a couple of rum and cokes in, you know what I mean? And when that puppy died,
oh, I was a wreck.
I could not. It was. I think it was worse than watching Mufasa die in The
Oh my
Lion King.
gosh.
That one's up
Totes
there for
worse.
me because this was a real puppy, not a cartoon. And you see this little cutie puppy, and then the way they did the scene, and they made the little puppy like, fuck me up. Fun, but it's set the revenge. Like anybody who watches John Wick, and this was true for boys and girls alike. I've shown this movie to ex-girlfriends too, and Julie loved it. Everybody gets behind the fucking ass whooping and revenge that comes after the fact that they kill this puppy, especially because it wasn't just any regular puppy. It was the puppy given to him by his dying wife with cancer, who was the
Correct.
love of his life, and gave him this puppy so he could like love something in the world. And the guy like didn't kill himself. And of course, naturally they kill that. So fuck the revenge that comes after it, everybody can get behind.
The revenge
So
is
everybody's like
100%
happy to see him
completely
kill
justified.
people. Totally. So John Wick, we'll just put it in there. Fuck it. Number 11. It's in there. We made it.
Well,
what you
the
got
next one I have is probably equally as intense to killing a puppy. And this is from the iconic movie American History X, which I was not allowed to watch growing up. And there is a pretty intense scene that concludes with Edward Norton making this guy bite the curb before Edward Norton stomped his head in,
Oh yeah.
breaking his jaw and crushing his skull.
And here's the thing.
That was
At
the most intense
first,
thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. And at first, you're kind of on Edward Norton's side, even though he's like a weird skinhead Nazi, because he's in there like sleeping in his house with his girlfriend. Actually, no, he's having sex with her.
Correct.
Everybody else is sleeping. And these people break into his house with a gun to fucking kill him. So at first, you're kind of like, okay, he's in the right. But then he goes out outside of the property, and this takes a turn where, oh no, he is not in the right. This is fucked. And he takes the kid down, and he's clearly defenseless at this point. And he has a gun to his head. Says, "You want to fucking fuck with me? You don't, fucking fuck with my family? Put your mouth on the curb." And the guy's like, so put your fucking mouth on the curb. And it is one of the most fucked things I've ever seen. And Ed Norton, the way he acted it is so intense because then the cops like all show up and he's like in his underwear with his fucking Nazi tattoo and he's like puts his hands up. But like if you look in his face, he has this like weird, it's almost like a smirk, but it's very, very mild. But you can see it in his eyes that he is so happy with himself for doing this.
Mhm.
It almost looks like in the end of Psycho, when you have Norman Bates like in the end where he's at this point in the cell and his mother is still in his head telling him like just mind your business, mind your time, they'll eventually set you free. And he like smiles up to the camera and it like freezes on him and then it turns into like a crazy skull and it pans to black. It almost made me think of that
Mhm.
because he just looks like such a sadistic fuck. And then obviously he goes to jail and not to spoil everything, everything goes wrong and he ends up seeing the light that it's not cool to be a racist skinhead. But fuck. Woo! Watching that was a hard one. And at the point that I saw that scene, I had been trained to watch like Scorsese films. I watched Casino when I was a fucking kid and watched Joe Pesci get beaten to death with a baseball bat with his brother when I was like a 4-year-old. I had been trained to see some really fucked up
Spoiler
things.
alert.
Yeah. But good Lord, this movie, seeing that scene, and they show it too. Like they really, I don't know how the fuck they filmed that.
Yeah, I mean, it was graphic.
It was very graphic. It was fucked. It was like so quick, but like, ooh, I can picture it clearly. But yeah, that's a fucked. Good scene though, and the whole action to get there is very intense and cool too. The way the movie is filmed almost makes you feel like you're there. So great work by everybody all around. Anywho,
You got 2
for
left.
my next one, that's right, I have 2 left, and I'm gonna go with one that is gonna take you back to the good old days of the '90s action films. And this classic is one that's actually, actually, it's not in the '90s. This movie came out when I was born in 1988, and it's loosely based on a real guy, the first American to fight in the International Kumite, which is a tournament where you don't necessarily have to fight to the death, but it's kind of like an anything goes type thing.
Yeah, I think
And the
kumite
movie's
is a
called
Japanese
Bloodsport.
term.
What's that?
I think it's a Japanese word because when I took karate, it was Japanese based, and the event where it was like a free for all fight, we had to wear these like big, huge foam vests and cups. It was called kumite, and the
Yeah, I mean,
goal was
it means combat.
to
It means
beat the shit
combat,
out of
but
each other.
yeah, and kumite just means combat in Japanese. But yeah, this tournament, it's anything type goes, and it's almost like a anything goes UFC. Like when the UFC first became a thing, where there was like you could basically do anything. It was sort of like that, but underground. Very difficult to get in. You have to be a fucking badass to win it too. And they didn't usually let Americans in. So very rare for him. And note, it's come out in later years that the guy Frank Duke, that this is based on, may have exaggerated a lot of his adventures. But this movie is that's why I said it's loosely based on what it said about him in here. And it's Jean-Claude Van Damme fighting the bad guy
You
played
call
by
him
Bolo
Jean Claude
Young,
or not Jean Claude?
which I guess is Jean-Claude if you want to be
You
fancy.
sound like you say Jan, like from the Brady Bunch. We got the middle kid here, Jan.
Yes, you're right. It's Jean
Jean
for the
Claude.
hoity-toity. We do have listeners in France and Belgium, so I should say it correctly. Jean. So apologies to Français
Apologies.
listeners. Anywho, when he's fighting Chong Li, played by Bolo Young, who is one of the most badass, epic bad guys in all movies, but in combat movies particularly, he doesn't say shit in the movies other than at one point he says something like, "I will end you" or something like that. But that's all he says. He literally just like looks at the crowd with a sadistic look as they cheer his name, Chong Li, and he just goes like, he just like wiggles his arms and looks sadistically into the crowd after he like fucking murders people. And he was a real life power lifter, and his son is actually still active in like martial arts and movies and powerlifting and shit. And
Is
looks
Chong Li
a
still
lot like him.
alive?
He's still alive. He's older and not as jacked, obviously, but he's still alive, and he helps his son a lot with his training. But at this point of the movie, Chong Li's already been an established badass. He's dominating everyone, including Jean-Claude Van Damme's buddy, who's another American in the tournament, who's another big guy, who's just, at the time he was like, who's gonna fuck with this guy? Well, Chong Li did, and he ripped off his bandana and shit, and was using it to taunt Jean-Claude Van Damme. And his buddy's in the hospital. They don't know if he can do it. The cops know that Jean-Claude Van Damme is involved into this, and they want to take him back to America. But he finds a way, damn it, to avenge his fallen buddy and kick Chong Li's ass. And it's such a good fight. The whole thing is epic. The montage that is shown in it as well, where, because this is the beauty of 80s and 90s fight movies. When things get tough, there's always an inspirational montage along the way for them to show you, where it just pumps you the fuck up and gets you ready to kick some ass. And damn it, this one does not disappoint. And eventually it ends with Frank Dude, who's been blinded even in the fight. And you think, how the fuck can he do this? He finds a way to use all his training before him to kick Chun Li's ass and finally put him to the ground to a shocked international crowd. And it is epic. So check out Bloodsport. That movie still holds up. I've been meaning to watch it, and I might actually do it today because I'm dying to. But
That's
check
a great
it out.
movie.
So good. So good. That was
Though I think Jean-Claude Van Damme is kind of small in real life.
he is. He's not that
short,
big.
right?
He might be. He's a little taller than me, but not by much. Yeah, he's 5'10". So he's a little taller than the average Hollywood actor. I will say they're all about 5'8". Actually, like Tom Cruise is shorter than me, but a lot of actors are about my height.
I was surprised. I met Christian Bale and he was tiny.
Really?
Well, smaller than me. I just feel like everyone on he's probably 5'10". Christian Bale.
They say he's billed at six flat, but
Nope, no way.
that could be.
I was taller than him.
You're
wasn't
6'1",
nice.
right?
I'm 6 foot.
Oh yes, no, he's lying. So I'm to be fair, they probably give actors like an extra inch too, like wrestling, pro wrestling. They always give the wrestlers like an extra couple of inches in their height. It was probably the same way. Like let's see
Johnny
what it
Depp
says.
is small too.
Yeah, how tall is he? 5'10". That's the same as John. Now let me see. Let me see what they say for Tom Cruise. 5'7". So, okay, at least that's accurate. He's teeny.
I gotta say, you guys, I was a little skeptical installing my own home today. But after trying Tushy, I'm in love. It was so easy to install, and my booty has never felt cleaner. And now I can say goodbye to the days of phantom poops. You know phantom poops. It's like the days where you gotta keep wiping over and over, but somehow you can't get rid of it all. And like you're just wiping for like 25 minutes. And it's like, oh my God, how can I get my booty clean? And it just doesn't happen. Those days are over. Plus, Tushy is not just good for your booty, it's good for Mother Earth. That's right, because it's no secret that toilet paper is bad for the environment. Now, the Tushy bidet also stays clean and hygienic with its patented self cleaning smart spray. The nozzle self cleans before and after each use automatically, so you ain't gotta do it anything. The buildup resistant design also helps you to minimize grime buildup, and it even has an antimicrobial knobs. Oh yeah, stays clean all day long, just like your booty. Now, every Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. It's risk-free to join over 3 million real pooping humans who have made this switch to a cleaner and more confident butt, including this booty right here. And now you too can get that fresh out of the shower feeling at hellotushy.com. In fact, for a limited time, our listeners get 10% off your entire order when you use promo code FRATCHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your order at hellotushy.com, HELLOTUSHY.com, with promo code FRATCHAT. It's time to back that ass up with confidence with Tushy.
Well, I have one more, and I say the best for last. This entire franchise, each movie is jam-packed with incredible fight sequences. And I love a good chick fight. Oh, I love when girls fight. That sounds horrible to say out loud. It sounds super misogynistic, but I prefer watching girls beat the fuck out of each other than dudes. I do because I think
You
that
watch women's UFC, and you'll see some of the greatest fucking fights in the world. Like,
I actually
these
think
girls-
women are a little bit more strategic in fighting, where like in movies they focus on a male's strength, like they're focused on the power of the jab, but I feel like Uma Thurman and Daryl Hannah were so fucking scrappy as fuck. Oh, I loved it when they fought in that trailer with that black mamba snake squirming around, and it was such a small trailer, and Daryl Hannah couldn't even. That's her name, right? That's who it was, Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
And so. she couldn't open up her sword because there's no space.
Yeah.
That was a great fight. She's the one-eyed bitch.
Yep.
And then she left that fight with no eyes.
No eyes. Yeah, is it when she throws the snake at it, right? Isn't that what happens to her eye? How does she lose the other one? Do you remember? I remember something like that. It was something very
I thought she
awful.
poked it out.
Oh yeah, she poked it out, and then she's like, ah! and then she leaves her there with the snake, right? Isn't
Correct.
that's what it is. Yeah, that is such a good fight scene. And that movie actually does a little kind of like the Matrix in the sense that they pay homage to, like, you know, your classic Japanese martial arts movies. So the fighting in some ways, some of the things are added to it to enhance in a way that might be a little unrealistic, but it's so fucking good. And the way that they do Uma Thurman's character in it is so fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like, she's at her wedding and shit. She's pregnant with a goddamn baby and stuff. And then in her quest for revenge, she ends up being buried alive. They really do her bad. So you see her getting revenge from all the people that fucked her. Ah, God, it feels so good. And Daryl Hannah's character, Black Mamba, is so good and sadistic, and like, she's hot, but she's terrifying.
Oh yeah.
And when she shows up, you just like it would like raise my fucking heart rate. Like, just seeing her, like, oh man, you know something bad's gonna happen. So seeing her get hers just feels so rewarding and good. It's so good. And even in the end, you still feel kind of bad for her because now she's totally blind, just screaming in pain with that awful snake next to her. You still feel kind of guilty for her, even though she's the biggest bitch in the world.
Now, if she
so
wasn't
great
pretty,
work.
would you still feel bad for her?
That's tough.
Don't you feel
Depends.
like we give
Honestly.
leeway to people who are pretty? We're like, oh, what a crazy, crazy bitch, but she does have a nice smile.
My thing is,
What a
and this is
rack.
something- Yeah, right. She has a nice smile. My thing is, like, I think I always had a thing for movies and scenes and TV shows because I've seen a lot where the character goes blind by like having to pull their eyes out or something like that. Like, that's like, to me, like, so fucked that whoever it's happening to, I'm gonna feel guilty for. Like, ugh, like, that sucks. That's terrible. But she already had one missing, you know what I mean? So now she's like totally blind. I don't know. It's tough. I have to see it done by an uglier person and see what happens. But anyways,
Well, got one
I'm
left
down.
to say the best for last. This is also on my list.
That's right, because 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Adrian, of course, I gotta end things by getting the eye of the tiger, brother, and going along with Rocky versus Mr. T in Rocky 3, the final fight. Everything about it is epic. Everything. Hold on, let me drink a little coffee because I had a little heebie-jeebie there.
Heebie-jeebie?
No. I had something stuck back there. She said the heebie-jeebies were about to puke, so I shouldn't say that. That would be very gross. But you have Rocky versus Mr. T for the second time in the movie because Rocky already lost once. And this is the time when Rocky loses that his beloved trainer Mickey dies. And it's awful. It's painful. And Rocky has to go back to the drawing board and realize that he's lost the eye of the tiger. He doesn't have it anymore. And who helps him find it? Well, his former nemesis, Apollo Creed, who is just a bad man himself. And Rocky learns all the skills from Apollo to change up his game, to go from just a brawler to at least getting some finesse and shit in there. And he's able to come back looking better than ever and take out Mr. T in one of the coolest goddamn movie fights you'll ever watch. Like, because the fight obviously starts a little more even this time around. Rocky is able to keep up with Mr. T, but as the fight progresses, Rocky starts getting mad at him. And then literally, like, you're getting to the end rounds and fucking Rocky's just little Mr. T jab at him and talking shit the whole time. So come on, hit me, bitch. You ain't bad. Hit me. Come on, hit me. And he's just taking jabs and moving left and right. And you see, like, hit me, boy. You're not. Come on. That's all you got. And Mr. T's just punching himself out. And obviously, these are the things like Muhammad Ali that ended up Rocky becoming punchier, costing his career. But that is the real boxing technique that he took from Muhammad Ali to put into his character. But at this time, you're seeing this guy, Clubber Lang, who already used his punching power to put this man down the first time. And now the second time, this guy comes back with a fucking vengeance. And it is so sweet. It's so inspiring that even if you go to YouTube right now and watch that fight scene without any context of having to see the whole movie, you will still be fucking pumped when it's over. Like I watch that fight scene every once in a while when I'm feeling lazy and I want to go to the gym. I'll put it on YouTube real quick. 6 minutes later, I feel great. I'm like, let's fucking go. It's so goddamn good. And this
The song's like rising up, back on the street.
Yeah, so good. And that's the movie that Eye of the Tiger became a hit in. But I think that is the best fight in the Rocky franchise. And for me to say that is, that's big because I love the franchise. I'll even watch Rocky 5 where he trains Bart Gunn. I even love the fucking street fight they get in at the end of that. So I got to give it to Rocky 3 though. I think it's the best one. And that fight scene in the end, whoo, it's good. Rocky 4 is also amazing, but check out, just go to YouTube right now, check out that fight, and let us know what you think, Frat Chat Podcast, because I'm telling you, even if you haven't seen Rocky 3, you'll love it. But anywho, I feel like we just kicked a lot of ass.
We kicked a lot
Now
of
we're gonna
ass.
A lot of ass.
Vince
So much
McMahon eats a lot of ass, and we kick a lot of ass.
We've taken names and shat on heads. And that's how we're feeling here at the Frat Chat Podcast. It's time to wipe off. So let us know what you thought of our epic list of movie fights. Give us a shout out on all social channels at Frat Chat Podcast. That's on Instagram. That's on Facebook. That's on Twitter /X. Check us out on YouTube as well, where you can watch the show live and check out show clips and all kinds of cool content. And give me a follow as well at Carlos Does the World. That's on Instagram. That's on TikTok. That's on YouTube, on Facebook, and Twitter /X at Carlos Does World. Oh yeah, Carlos Does World on Threads as well. And you can give a follow to my buddy Simo here at chris.moore.comedy on Instagram, on TikTok, and see more comedy on Twitter /X. Oh, yeah. So, Mr. Mo, that's done it for us. It's time to roll. So won't you get us out of here?
I motion to adjourn this meeting so I can go poop on someone's head. Yum.
And I second phrase number 2 on his head. All right, you guys. We'll be back next week with another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasting time. It's the Frat Chat Podcast. See ya.